craps and under. Today I'm going to go through a strategy that was discussed on Reddit. It's basically using a don't pass bet and then 3 come bets. So let's get started. I'm going to play this on a 3-4-5 odds table. I'm not going to play it on a 10 times odds. They do suggest that try and use one of those, but given that there's mainly 3-4-5 odds that are around, I'm going to adjust it for sort of those type of conditions. And so start with a $10 bet. That's the minimum bet on this table. Get some dice. All right. The days of the $5 tables are gone. It's mainly $10 from what I'm hearing, or even worse. So let's come out, and we've got a 4. So I'm not a fan of this type of play, even though I have showed a very similar strategy to this that uses a don't pass and don't comes with come bets. I'm actually not a fan of these type of hybrid plays. But in particular, I'm not a fan of this one because of the large don't. The large don't offsetting action up here. It really, when you start hitting points, these strategies take a bit of a nosedive. They're taking a large bit of risk to make little profit bets rather than making a substantial amount of profit. So that's why I'm not a fan of them. So that's only going to win $40 on the 7. And that's why they suggest a 10 times table, because once you get 3 bets up here with odds on them, yeah, don't bet's not really covering enough. So just bear that in mind if you are playing it at a 3-4-5 odds table. 6, so we get there, put $10 in odds. So 1 unit of odds. Now you don't have to play it at this level, you can play it at a $30 level. You could play it at whatever level your casino has. So that's a nice one. So we win there in the come. And 7, and we win again. So this is about as good as you can go with this strategy. Did pretty well there. And there's, take that back, there's our $30 win in our odds. So it's gone about as good as you can hope. And that's why, after all that, even though we took a fair bit of risk, we've ended up basically $30, $40, somewhere around there. Alright, let's go, coming out on the 10. So again, we've had luck shine upon us. We've got another outside number. 60. 60 will pay 30, $10 in the come. Away we go. On the 6, add $10 in odds and $10 back in the come. Aces, losers in the come, so we go back in again. We want to get 3 come bets up. 5, $10 in odds, 10 back in the come. And 9. So that's it. We stop doing come bets now. We let something resolve. Either we get a 7 or one of our come bets hits, or if we hit the point, which we don't want to. Midnight. 4. Dice are managing to dodge all of our bets. 8. We don't have the 8. 8 again. Midnight again. And unfortunately we hit our point. And so there we go. We just lost $70. Now our odds are off on the come out, so we're new come out. But we do have three bets at risk to the 7. 10, back on the 10. Alright, put our 60 in odds. It's 3-4-5 odds table, that's the maximum odds. Alright, that'll win 30. Doesn't affect us because we don't have anything, we didn't have a come. We're just waiting for something up here to resolve. We're not on the 8. It's amazing we haven't actually, I was going to say it's amazing we actually haven't had the 7, but there it is. So, we did win on that one. So we get paid on our flat and we get paid $30. But we do lose 20 up here. And believe it or not, this is actually going really well for this play. New shooter, new dice coming out. It's actually going very well. On the 8, 60 in odds, 60 will win 50. So on the 8, there's $50 there, plus there's a 10 here in the come. So we've basically got 6 units of cover against the 7, is what you can kind of think of it that way. And this is the roll you're hoping to get a 7 on, but we didn't, we got a midnight. But this is where the strategy does best. This is the most optimal, highest payout you can get with this, is this roll here. Got a 4. But there are plenty of configurations and plenty of things that happen quite commonly where this strategy really does get beaten up. And not the least being craps numbers. And there's a 7. So it's still an early 7. So we do reasonably well. We are going to get paid $50 here for our odds. So we did get our money returned to us. And we made $50. So that's still about a game because we only have 1 point up. It's about as good as it gets, but we're still down. And you have to, with this strategy, you are going to have a shooter hitting their points. That happens. 3. But again, we're having a very good run here. 10, again, on an outside number. I mean, most of our points have been on the outside. It doesn't always happen this well. Midnight. Right. And this is the collateral damage. You get cut here, you get cut on the front, and often you'll get your bases loaded and you don't end up getting hits. And the risk that you're taking here is not really earning what it should be because it's subsidizing all of this. And a bet can't both pay for its own losses and pay for the losses of other bets. It's a bit of an illusion to think that you're covering your bets with a don't. You're not really covering your bets. It's an illusion because these bets win and lose in accordance to their odds, to the true odds. They're going to win and lose about 50% of the time, less some house edge. So they can't both cover their own losses and also cover the losses of other bets. That's an illusion to think of it that you're covering. You're not really. They are independent bets. And that's why I find when you think of these sort of hybrid plays as covering, you actually end up taking away a lot of your profitability because you are taking the risk, but your profit gets washed away. 4. Put our odds up, go back into the come. I want to get 3 up. Here's a 6. $10 in odds, 10 there. Got the 10, hit our point, which happens. Goes to the 10 as a punishment, as if you didn't get punished enough here. Alright, let me hand back another black and get some reds. There we go. Give that back to the casino and let's go back in. So same shooter and coming out. There you go. Back in again. Oh, I've got another yo. Alright. And we've got a 6. Alright, so odds come back. $10 in odds comes back. This one gets paid. And we'll leave him in the come. And we'll put our odds behind here. Put 60 in odds. That's what the strategy says. And we haven't got odds up here. We're supposed to have odds up on our 10. Should be doing that now that we've set the point. And here we go. Just got to get one more travel, but we don't because we win. So that's a nice one. Makes up for one of the front side ones, and then we've won again. But obviously we've lost. We lose these. That pays our flat, and we get 20 there, and we get a 30 win. So all of this is basically our money come back to us plus 30 bucks. But I personally don't think that's sufficient, because you've taken $70 of risk, and you can lose 70 bucks, but you're not really giving you a chance to win that amount. Winning a lot less. So here we go. Get some new dice, new shooter coming out. Got a 6. Again, 60 in odds. 60 will pay 50. We go into the come. And we've got a 5. So travels, $10 in odds, 10 back in the come. Hit our point. Of course, that's what happens. So again, we took the risk, but we weren't really ever going to win 70 bucks because of this sort of hybrid style play. I'll put our odds up because we're supposed to do that, so that's why I don't forget, even though they're not working. All right, they're off on the come out, the odds, unless you ask for them to work. And while I'm talking about that, it actually is in your interest to have your odds working. Now, the casino doesn't automatically work your odds because that increases their house edge, believe it or not. So you should actually, if you care about house edge, if you subscribe to house edge being the ultimate and only consideration, then you should always be working your odds to make sure that the casino's not getting any more house edge out of you than absolutely the minimum. So we're on the 8, but with this strategy I'm just going to leave the odds not working by default, even though that is not in your interest. 8, and there's our nice little midnight taking another nip out of us, and a 6. So finally we get one that pays us an off and on situation, so I put the odds there. I'll get paid 12, 10 for the flat. I'll put that back up, rack the rest, and oops, dice fell off the table. Grab another die, and 6, perfect. Doesn't really get much better than that. It's off and on again. So again, we're going to get paid 12 for our odds and 10 for our flat. Put 10 back up on odds, the rest in our rack. But this is what I mean, you know, yeah, we're winning, but we're not really winning much. You know, we're winning, you know, 10 bucks, a little bit, 20 bucks, something like that. Yet we're taking, you know, $70 risk. And a lot of the time you'll get yourself set up here and not really get the hits. So there we go. 4. I mean, this is going very, very well. Doesn't really go much better. There we are. So that's probably one of the best wins we've had for a while. All right, so we won 30, 40 bucks. Well, 10 bucks came back I should say. So that's 30 bucks we won. 10. So it travels to the 10. 10 bucks in odds. Now we stop now, no more come bets. We just let the 3 resolve. We've got the 5. Alright, so 15 and 10. So this particular roll is doing exceptionally well. But again, it's a very slow ratchet up, but it's like a slippery slide all the way down every time a point is made. Just like that. So yeah, we made a few hits, but oh boy, we paid the price just then. You know, it's a $70 loser, but you get little scraps on the way up. That's kind of my thoughts about this style of play. 5. So 5's the point. Odds get returned to us, but this one gets paid. Put in there. And we do need to put 60 in odds and go back in the come. Alright, because we've still only got 2 up here. We're trying to get the third one, and there's a 7. But that's okay. This one, excuse me, this one here, he wins. So we'll use that to pay that. We'll use that one to pay that. And we'll use that. There's 20. We need to get back 40. So what I'll do, I'll throw in a green and take a red back. That gives us our $40 there. I'm just paying it out like that so you can see that we're basically getting our money back rather than the win. You know, the win is really just getting our money back off the table that we had out there rather than being a real win. And that's kind of my thoughts on this. It's you can lose a lot really quickly, but you only win very, very slowly. 9's the point. Another 60 in odds. And 10 in the come. Here we go. And whacked it. So that's what I mean, you know. It's very quick to lose 70 bucks. That goes to the 9, of course. Very quick to lose $70. And if I was to put all of our Alright, 5. Alright, so we get 3 greens back. Just trying to even up our rack here. So I take back 75 in reds. Like, we're still down a fair way. We're still down a black, remember? We've only got 3 blacks. We should have 4 blacks. So we're still down $100. So is it a good play? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Because of the risk you take and the reward is just not there. It's a really, really win slow. Unless a particular scenario keeps happening, which is set a point PSO. If you're getting that, then you'll do great. But then you would do good with just playing a single don't bet. So the strategy, the plays where this really wins, you're probably going to do quite well with just a regular don't bet, and you'll be profitable in a lot more cases than you will with this strategy. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a new come out. That's right, so new come out, and we're on the 6 this time. All right, so now we can put our odds in. So we are still down 100 bucks. It's just how it is, and we're supposed to put some odds up here. 1 unit of odds. Got to get 3 of these up. There we go, onto the 10. So we put our odds there, back into the come to get our last bet up. And we've got the 8, so there we go. So we're all set up, 3 bets. Now we sit back and see if something resolves. We've got a 9, just don't want to get the 6, this is the only one we want to avoid. So we get 15 for our odds and 10 for our flat. So there we go, back in the come, because now we want to get another one up. Got onto the 5. So here we go, $10 in odds. And now we just let them resolve. 8. So we're doing well to miss our 6, doing really, really well there. So that one pays us $12 for our odds and $10 here for our flat. So let's chuck it all back in the rack. And now we're back in the come. And this is where the idea behind this is, well, you can make all this money on your come bets on a longer hand. You know, the strategy kind of aims to make some money on the short game, on the set a point PSO, but if it doesn't do that, then potentially you can make some money. But what I find is that this often sabotages the profits you would have got on a 7. Doesn't always, most of the time it doesn't actually realise the profit you would like it to. Unfortunately, we hit the point, and like I said, you're making crumbs on the way up, which you certainly slide down really quickly. Another $70 down the drain. 5. Alright, so we're on the 5. So that one, we get our odds returned to us because it was a come out roll. We do get paid for the flat. And we'll leave that there. We do need to put another 60 there. And there we go, hit the point. So, alright, come back to the house. So, I'll play this until we get a next 7. So come out, now these don't have odds on them yet. We'll put odds once the point's established. And there's a come out 7. So the only odds we get returned are these, but we've just lost another 40. So as you can see, you do tend to lose a fair bit of money very quickly, but you don't win much, you know, when you're winning. So yeah, it's a bit of a silly strategy, I find. I wouldn't play it. Yeah, that gets me back into my blacks. I should have 4 blacks there. So now I've got 4 blacks back in there. I started with 1,000. So I should have 500. I've only got 225. And I should have 500 there. So that tells me I've lost a fair bit of money. I've lost 275 there. And I think I've lost probably another, let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. I've got to get these flat. Okay, so 75, 80, 85, 90. So $285 down. So would I play it? No. Because of the simple thing is we're pretending that our don't bet covers our action when really the don't bet's going to win and lose according to the odds. You know, it's a 50-50 bet, so how can it possibly cover the losses of other bets? It's half the time it's got to cover the losses of itself, and yeah, that's just kind of how it is. It's an illusion to think you're covering your action. You're not really doing that. So what would I do if I was going to play this? Well, I'd probably play, you know, just a $75 don't. If I want to play a don't and make money, I'll probably just concentrate my action. And that's what I want to talk about. Concentrating your action is actually a better way to play. Now, we may not win, but I believe concentrating is a far better way to win because you're getting the full effect of your bet. You're not watering it down with all this other hedging and covering and all this other stuff. You know, you're You're letting the bet win and lose in accordance to what it's supposed to do. This idea of subsidising just doesn't really work in my book. So there's a 75. So I might do something like that and do a parlay and try and exploit streaks. In this occasion, didn't win. Right, we lost. That's okay. Right, I'll do it again. And there's a 7. I would rather play like this. Let the bet win and lose according to its natural odds than doing all this sort of covered play. So I've had some losses and that's okay. It's going to win and lose 50% of the time. Right. I've had a loss streak of 2 lost back-to-back losses, but then I've won. So I'll parlay it and see if I can get just exploit a little streak. So I think that's a 5. It's kind of half on. That's a 4. Okay. So it fell. 6. Oh, we got the 4. So we're not having a good run. But I would rather do this. We'll go up to the 100. I would rather do this than be playing a sort of a hybrid hedgy type play. Now, 9. So again, just showing you that yes, I'm playing the don't. But what if I was playing that? I would have won repeatedly over and over and over. A streak, and that's all we're trying to do is find a streak, because streaks happen. Right, we've had a massive win streak if we're playing light side, but my point is I want you to see that streaks happen. Doesn't matter, we just happen to be on the wrong side at the moment. That's fine, definitely on the wrong side, but you've just seen a massive win streak if you're playing light side. So we've gone through most of our bankroll, but I would rather play it like this, because when I get the streak, I've made my money. That doesn't affect us. 7. So bear in mind, we've had quite a run of losses, and that's going to happen, but you also can get runs of wins. There's a 9. There you go. There's a 7. Right, 200. So I'll rack that back up. Just let 100 ride. If you want, you can be aggressive and put 200 on it. On the 10. 9. Just looking for a 7. There's our 7. All right, so where do we end up? 600. Right, you can see that just with a couple of wins, I'm actually doing okay. And it doesn't take too many. I can go back down to my base level here. 8. 4. There's a 7. Alright, I would rather play this way because why? Because I can actually make money. Yeah, I can lose my money. But I'm going to guarantee I'm going to lose get bled to death the other way. But I've got 700 bucks, right? Yeah, I went down. I had a massive streak of losses. But my point is streaks happen. And I can exploit streaks just by playing a concentrated bet and get further ahead far quicker than I can playing this kind of grinder play. So, you know, I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Right, 700. almost 800. I've kind of got ourselves back up, back up from where we were. If I want something where I've got a little bit more odds of winning, I can do something like that. I can lay the 10, lay that for 300. Now I might lose it, like I did there. All right, try it again. All right. Of course, you can always lose. Every bet you do, you can win or lose, right? But I'd rather play with concentrated action than, and I'm just playing for the 7 here, so I'll just roll it until we get a 7. All right, I've got 150, so I'll just parlay it on. All right, parlay it up. See if I can get a couple of 7s. Yo. 6. 4. 8. 5. 12. 8. Long roll. Yo. 5. It's extremely long roll. 5. Midnight. 8. Midnight again. 9. There's our 7. So that's all right. I would rather play like this. And you might think, oh, I'm being crazy. No, I'm not. Mathematically, this is actually a good way to play. All right. Now, yes, I have to pay some vig. All right, I won 200. I've got to pay somewhere around $11 vig. Get 4 back. That's okay. You know, playing concentrated is not a bad way to play. And yeah, I had some serious losses in there. You saw me just lose a whole lot of money. Did I escalate my bets? Well, no, I just went up again. I probably went up an increment, $25 from when I originally started at 75. But I'd rather give myself a chance to make a good gain and play a concentrated wager. So, now, can we get a case where we get a couple of wins here? Oh, you could go for pass line. It's really up to you what you feel like playing. 9. I'd rather play this kind of a play. I lost it. Okay, am I worried? No. 7. I've just done $200. I'm still not worried. I'd rather play this way. 5. Points 5. 6. That's the pass lines won 3 times in a row. Twice in a row. Could have just as easily been playing pass line and made a streak of 3, but I wasn't. I was on the wrong side. But that's my point. I'm not always going to be on the wrong side. 9. There's a 7. It's okay. I'll win that one. I'll just parlay it. 3. You don't always lose. Right? Go back down to my base bet. Right? This is kind of what I'm talking about. You don't always lose. Oh, that was an 8. There's a 7. Right, maybe I'll parlay it on that 9 again. There's a 7. Okay. So I'm giving myself a chance to actually win, is what I'm trying to show here. Now, remember we did start down fairly low, but I've got us up past our loss. I'm up 1,000, 1,100. You know, what do we got here? All right, 3 grains. All right, there's 100. So I got us up to 250 plus $4, right? Because I'm actually giving myself a chance to win. I'm not grinding away with a play that risks 70 bucks, but most of the time has very little chance of making what I'm risking. Where the way I was playing then, I have the opportunity to make money. It doesn't mean I'm going to win, but I actually have the opportunity to actually make a decent win. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Make a decent win. Try and use the idea of a streak. Streaks can actually help you. Where I won a bet and then I parlayed my win. That actually got me a win. No, I could take that 250, right, and I could lay it and say, well, guess what? I'm going to just see if I can get a 7 before the 10. And I may not get it. I might do more my profit, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Nine, 3, 8, 5, 4, 8. Don't know where the 7 is, but he doesn't want to show. Oh, there's a 7. All right, so there's me. I've put my profit on the line. Yeah, I did. I win 125. I have to pay a little bit of tax, right? I've got to pay $11 tax. So I'm going to get back $19. Is that right? Yeah, 125. Yep. So it's 5 plus 11. It's $11. I gave him 25. I've got to give out 15, 19. Yep, perfect. So where do we end up? I put my profit at risk. Original $1,000. And you know, I got 350, 60, 65, 70. Right, 373. All right, so 373, and I made that a hell of a lot easier than grinding away, getting cut to death on a strategy that can't win a lot, but it can lose a lot. It can win slowly, but it can lose, but it loses quickly. And I'd rather something that gives me a commensurate reward for the risk, and that's what playing a single concentrated bet gives you. You know, dispel those ideas of covering. I'm using a single bet that can win. It's going to win and lose about 50% of the time. All I'm trying to do is exploit a couple of back-to-back wins, and that's all I'm doing there. I'm not asking for more wins. I'm actually just asking to get a couple of wins back-to-back. You know, I get a few of those and I'm out. I've checked out, I've made my profit. Much more reliable way to win than spreading and round and doing covered plays and all this sort of thing. I think you're much more likely to win by using parlay type technique to exploit a win or a run of 2, 3. Pick how many you want to go for, and you can easily get yourself back up. As I said, I got us out of the hole of about $300 out of the hole, and I've made a chunk of change on top of that. So just by using the concentrated wager. So I just thought I'd show you the difference in how the two can play out. And you might think, oh, that was riskier. It's actually, mathematically, it's a superior way to play. You're better to use larger bets than smaller bets. But what I don't like is a large bet and all these other bets up here where you're just limited. This can't ever win much because you get all your action up here, taking away from the profitability. So I'll leave it there and look forward to your comments and feedback. Hope you found that interesting. But it's kind of my thoughts on the game. Better to put your action in one place. All right, thank you very much.